Welcome friends to this another presentation. In this presentation, we will be discussing about the cellular network. Mobile communication technology is a widely used technology nowadays, and we know that our life is being transformed because of this mobile communication technology. It is possible to do almost any kind of work by sitting at home with the help of this mobile communication technology. So you are watching this presentation on my YouTube channel, Learn with Prakash Khanade. So let us understand initially what we mean by the cellular network. So cellular network is nothing but a communication network, and it is basically a network that is used for mobile phone communication. So why this is being called as a cellular? Because in this technology, the geographical area or the service area is being divided into small hexagonal zones, and these zones are called as the cell, and that is the reason this network is being called as a cellular network. Now you will find that every cell is a geographical area, small area, and this area has a base station. Many times we call it as a mobile tower. So you will find that the area in which you are living, you will be observing that there are certain mobile towers within that area. If the mobile tower is not available, then probably we will not get any service. So as shown in this diagram, you will find that the geographical area is divided into hexagonal zones, and each zone is being called as a cell. And in each zone, you will find that there is a mobile tower, and this mobile tower will be providing you the service, and it is being called as a base station. You will find that the size of this cell will vary from area to area. For example, if you are in rural area where the number of users are much less, then the size is much larger. It is in several kilometers. But if you move to the urban areas, then you will find that the size of the cell is reduced because the number of users goes on increasing. And if you move to the densely populated area, such as metropolitan cities, where there are a very large number of users, then you will find that the size of the cell is further reduced. So if you take any typical urban area, then you will find that the radius of this cell is about 1 kilometer. And as I said, if you move to the very dense urban area, then the radius of the cell will be much smaller, and it will be several hundred meters only. Now, let us understand some terminologies which are assigned with the cellular network. We know that the base station is used to transmit and to receive the signal from the mobile phones or from the mobile terminals. And when it transmits the signal to the mobile, or when it receives the signal from the mobile, then it has to use a certain frequency. So every company is being assigned with a frequency spectrum. And when the company offers the service in your area, then they need to use only those frequencies that are being permitted by the government to use. When a signal is being transmitted from the base station to the mobile, then this is called as a downlink, or sometimes we call it as a forward link. When the signal is being transmitted from the mobile to the base station, then this has been called as a reverse link, or many times we call it as a uplink. So these two words we always need to use, uplink and downlink. So whenever we have a signal transmission from mobile to the base station, then it is uplink. And whenever we have a signal transmission from base station to the mobile, then it is called as a downlink. You will find that there is a slight difference in the frequencies of uplink and downlink. Say for example, a company is using 450 megahertz band, then you will find that the uplink frequencies can be 453 to 457.5 megahertz, and the downlink frequencies can be 463 to 467.5 megahertz. So there is a slight variation in the uplink and downlink frequencies that are used for the transmission of the signal. Now every company try to achieve the optimized use of the network, and therefore every cellular network works on the principle of frequency reuse. We know that our frequency spectrum is very limited. Unlimited frequencies are not available for the use, and therefore we need to use the frequency again and again. So same pool of the frequencies is being used in the cells, but the condition is that the cells must be sufficiently separated from each other. As shown in the diagram, you will find that here is a cell and here is a cell, and both of these cells can reuse the same frequency spectrum, but provided that they are sufficiently spaced, means they should not be very close to each other. Now mathematically it is possible that you can calculate this distance, and it is called as the frequency reuse distance between the two cells, and this distance can be given by the formula d is equal to r into under root thrice n, where r will stand for the radius of the cell and n will stand for the cluster size, the number of cells within the cluster. So many times this pattern is also called as 7-cell frequency reuse pattern. That is, the frequency that is being used in one cell, after 7 cells, you can again reuse the same frequency pattern in another cell. So why should we do this? Because if we do this, then as I said, our frequencies are limited, and therefore companies can reuse them. And also it will increase the capacity of the network. Now let us understand how the mobile communication takes place. Actually, you will find that our mobile phone is a kind of a radio. You can say that it is a two-way radio. Means it has a transmitter and it has a receiver, both. Now, whenever we talk on the phone, isn't it, our voice signal is being converted into electrical signal, and this electrical signal is communicated to the nearest base station. So whenever caller makes a call, then the signal, basically it is a voice signal, but this voice signal is being converted into electrical signal, and the transmitter that is situated in the mobile phone will transmit this signal through the air or through the atmosphere to the nearest base station or to the closest base station. Then the base station will receive this signal, and this signal is further processed to the switching center. This switching center is normally termed as SC. In the switching center, you will find that the authentication is performed. That is, the caller is identified and the receiver is also identified. If they are authenticated, if they are authorized user of the services, then only the signal is further processed. This signal, finally, the switching center will send to the receiver side. that is to the base station of the receiver side. So you will find that the base station, which is the closest base station to the receiver, will receive the signal. This base station will further transmit the signal through the air wirelessly to the antenna of the receiver. Now, as I said that this mobile is also a kind of a radio. It will receive the signal, and after receiving the signal, it will process it so that the output voice can be heard. The receiver, when receive the signal, it will get some message or call, and it will open the line. And as soon as it opens the line, then you will find that a two-way communication connection is being established between the caller and the receiver. So you will find that in this way, the signal can transmit from the caller to the receiver, and whenever receiver responds, then the signal again get transmitted to the caller. If suppose the caller is moving or the receiver is moving, then it may be possible that he may cross one cell and will get entered into another cell. If this happens, then you will find that his services will be handed over by one base station to another base station. So the caller or the receiver is always serviced by the closest base station. And whenever the services are handed over from one base station to another base station, then that is being called as a handoff between the two stations. So friends, hopefully you have understood some basic terminologies that is being used in the cellular network. More details about this cellular network can also be discussed. It is also possible to discuss the different generations of the mobile phone. So in the coming videos, we may discuss some more issues about the mobile communication technology. Thank you for viewing my presentation.